Welcome to Paradise Love and Veggies. I'm Samantha James. Today I'm at Woodbridge Farm and my friend Zevron is getting ready to put together a single release party tonight, and he's going to sit down and talk to us a little bit about what it takes to write and publish music. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm excited to talk to viewers a little bit about what you do and how you got into it. So you aren't just a songwriter. You sing, you record your own music, you produce your own music, and you have your own record label. So I was curious, how did you get into songwriting?
Well, to be honest, I think I always had an interest in songwriting. I started when I was in my first 4 years of academia. I wrote my first song to a piano. Um, I don't think it ever left me. It just kind of like it was always there. Um, but the death of my mother is what propelled me
Mm.
to kind of take the act two of my life and finish what I was doing in the academic world and let the artistic genius flow, and that's really what pushed me to, I guess, start making these things come to fruition and manifest physically. Um, but as far as the writing process itself, at first I thought I was writing an autobiography. They were
Oh,
just notes in my phone. That's how it started. It
okay.
was like after leaving academia, and then uh, I started to feel like, no, this actually has a rhythm to it. It's not a story. These are broken up stories, and they're not really going into this autobiography thing that I was writing. And I said these are actually like lyrics, and then the music came after, and then it's just much like my painting, very abstract artist. So I could just wake up one day and it's just something in my mind. I put in a note, and then like another day I could just be feeling something, start to create the sound, and then a lot of times those things come together later, or it's just completely just sound and thought in a moment. So what brings me to songwriting is wanting to express in a way that can't be erased,
Nice, nice.
documenting my life.
Right. And I was actually going to ask you what your inspiration was, but you kind of covered that in the explaining how you got into it. So now, if someone, I have a couple of songs that I recorded long ago. And so for me, I worked with I worked with a producer because I'm not a producer of music. Um, so you record all your own music. So you play the piano. Talk a little bit about what goes into to writing a song, and then what you do when the song is finished. What your next steps are.
Okay, so I guess the first part was about how do I create the song, and then what do I do when it's finished, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the creation of the song is very abstract, like I was kind of talking about that, but the cool thing about technology in today's world, you can have a million different instruments at your fingertips. I am classically trained in music from high school. Like I know how to play the piano, I know how to read music.
Okay.
However, music is a lot more natural, and it's more of an ear thing for me than
Oh, okay.
anything.
Okay.
So when I'm sitting down at a keyboard or a set of drums, or if I pick up my guitar, or if I'm just on a MIDI, which allows you to play electronic like instruments that you may not have that are like from other places, like the erhu, I think it's called, from it's a Chinese wind instrument that I'm
Okay.
able to play
And you
digitally.
said MIDI, and so for viewers who aren't familiar
If you're
with
not
that
familiar
term,
with the MIDI, it's a miniature device that you plug into another device
so
that
like a keyboard, you can plug it into a
it,
keyboard, or
no, you plug it into it's a device that allows your equipment to speak to your digital audio workshop
okay,
station, which will be your DAW. So if you're
okay,
using GarageBand or Logic Pro or any of those, it allows your mic to talk to it, your speakers to talk to it, and connect. So it's like basically your converter.
okay,
Focusrite is what I use. It's a
okay,
really easy one. It's pretty cheap. You can start out very cheap with just one or two hookups. You don't have to do much. and that's what I'll use. And the MIDI it has drum pads that you can program, and then
Oh,
it has
okay.
a keyboard you can also program. It has nodules that you can program. It has a a bar on it where you can make things sound more beat and change the tone, tonality, or whatever of the sound. So you can do a lot with the MIDI because it basically allows you to scale any instrument
Okay.
in your lap, and it's about this big and it's
Okay.
lightweight.
Nice.
So it's literally like a miniature keyboard, and the one that I use is the Akai MIDI, MP something.
ACAI, I think, is the spelling.
AKI, I think.
AKAI, right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a red. It's the Focusrite is red, and everybody pretty much. It's a very well known product, but you can also link it. I can send you the link, and you can put it in your bio down below. The stuff that I'm saying.
Okay.
And if people
Okay.
want to get to the equipment.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
important when you start. You never knew how to do it. Um, how to set things up to be your own production, right? That's the first step. But when you're finished with a song, the next step, my next step, is to copyright it. Before
Okay.
I do anything else,
And do you do that through the Library of Congress, or is that
absolutely,
okay?
absolutely. So after mix and mastering and my final project, you don't want to send your WAV files, people, because our governmental websites and they take a long time to process things. So you want to do MP3 or MP4 of it. It's a fine thing. It's just for them to have it on file.
Right.
But I go to the Library of Congress to their copyright center and go through their electronic registration. And if you're the one who produced, wrote, mastered everything, and you're the only one behind it, you want to be
Right.
sound
Okay.
recording is what you want to go for each song. But if you're doing an album, you can do multiple at a time.
Right.
That's my next step. Copyright it, and then from there you start the journey of what's next.
And before we get to the what's next, because I do want to talk about the different platforms that are available for musicians now, but you kind of went a step beyond. So Zevron doesn't just write and produce his music; you actually have your own record label. So what compelled you to do that, and how did you get started on that piece of it?
Okay, so the whole idea was I wanted ownership. I believe it's very important for people to own anything that they produce, and and having your intellectual property is like that's very important. So that's what pushes me towards the. I was like, for me, there was no other way. I didn't want to wait for. I didn't need, nor did I want a record label to manage me or to look for me.
Okay.
I want to be in complete control over my artistic journey.
Okay.
And I think that comes a little bit from being a little bit stifled in academia, and that probably goes into it. But mainly, it's about ownership and knowing like when everybody catches up to the Zevron Don, you know, those royalties, the publishing, as well as the distribution, as well as like the other like non-interactive platforms like Pandora, all those royalties would be to myself as well as a legacy. Every time I publish as a legacy. So after I die,
Oh.
it will still go and be left to my wife
Okay.
and to my family.
Oh, neat.
And it's very important for people who are starting that you put your credits, your producer credits, your writing credits, your songwriting credits, all those credits in your legal name.
Okay.
When
Okay.
you go to the Zevron Don's pages, if you look underneath, you'll see that my name is Charm Lepre. That's me. That's who I am. That's my biological name. So, but just so this is supposed to be educational, so you don't get paid through your artist name unless you're being paid through like me. If you're an artist and I put you in, but if you're independent,
Okay.
you get paid through your song credits and your metadata. And your metadata needs to be your legal name
Okay.
or someone's legal name,
Right.
so that you can actually have those checks come to you because it takes a while for it to kick in. Be patient.
So that brings me to my next question, which was wanting to talk about the different platforms. So I am a big fan of Apple Music, which you know. Um, So talk to me a little bit. There's Spotify, there's Apple Music. I mean, there's a bunch of them. There's iHeart Music, and you put your songs on all of the platforms.
Indeed.
And how do those platforms differ as far as like maybe user ease versus royalties? Like, is there a difference
There's a
in
lot
the?
of
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about that and.
Okay. So yes, there's a lot of them. One is about access. That's why I like to put it everywhere. Platforms definitely different on payout, how much they pay per stream, or how long they take to publish. Apple Music, Title, those two, they're very stringent about how you put your bio together.
Oh, okay.
You can't really have a different and weird capitalizations. You can't really have it's like rules. Spotify gives the artist, and I will give Apple credit as well. They have like an artist profile where I could actually go in and make certain changes, which is dope. Um, but other platforms you have to go through like your distribution.
Oh,
So I think that the cool thing about having it out there, it makes it worldwide legitimately. So if you're out there and you're a Deezer user, or if you're in somewhere in a Latin-speaking country,
oh.
I'm there. Or if you don't know me yet, you can just Shazam,
Oh, right.
and
Okay.
it
If you
picks up
okay.
who it is.
And how do you just? I didn't know that was so. How do you register then with Shazam? Is that something that's built in when you put your
That
music out on a platform? Is that all part of the Shazam app
it
or?
all does it all depends on really the distribution company in which you are working with.
Okay.
And it's either a part of the package of a release or you can add it on
Oh,
as a
oh,
release.
oh.
I always do it because people just hear a song. Not everything is lyrical, like too. If they just hear a song, it's great to just be able to Shazam it.
Right,
Even
right.
some of my favorite like artists, I don't even know the name of their stuff, but if I could Shazam it, I'll get their name. So it's
Right.
really cool to be able to know that like I have fans that hit me up from Japan all the way to like Russia.
That's got to be really exciting.
Yeah,
How? What's the furthest away that anyone's ever contacted you from?
probably Russia, right? I
Okay.
mean, or somewhere in the Asians, right? Somewhere in like I've had Australia, maybe.
How did that
Africa.
feel when you first got that communication? Were you like, I really kind of struck it big? Like, did you feel like you had arrived? And
Actually, it was a little bit of like I had to realize my music has a life of its own once I release it,
okay,
because I'm one of those creators. I create just to create. It's I've done a lot of work for a specific purpose of survival for a long time. So this I want to keep sacred in that way.
right,
Um, but that's what I felt is like, whoa! I realized once whatever you choose to put out there, it's going to have a life of its own, and you have to be ready to receive your people who want to talk to you about
right.
connecting to your music. And I think at that point was a variable I had not yet considered, because it was more of a personal journey.
Okay.
And I was just like, my biggest thing was I wanted to be on Jay-Z's platform, because I grew
Oh,
up listening to Jay-Z. I know his story,
okay.
that hustle to billionaire, story. Um, and I've always looked up to like kind of that hustle mentality mixed with, entrepreneurship and being white collar as well. So I feel like that was my biggest thing. Was like it would be dope if it was on if I can get my shit on Jay Z's platform. That's enough for me, and I don't care if I'm the only one that fucking listens to it.
Right, right,
I want to
right,
hear myself on title, right?
right.
So that was, and we used to joke and call it tittle, but that was my whole thing. But that's how I felt. I felt like wow, like okay, this is taking its own thing. I don't have control. Was
Okay,
the
okay.
biggest thing I felt. I don't have control once I release it.
What I wanted to touch a little bit back on the different platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
the royalties are different, and then I'm assuming maybe like do you have to reach a certain point before they'll pay you, or like is there like a 3 month like where they only do like accounting for? I mean, I guess what I'm asking is if a viewer said, "Hey, I've got a great song. I think I'm going to strike it rich," and they're like, "I need some money in the bank today." It's not happening like when people start buying it. You're not getting paid like that day.
No, everybody needs to know that it's just, think of the music industry as just as slow of a machine as our government, right? So it takes like 9 to 12 months to see publishing royalties come through because it takes that long to actually register you with all the world organizations that um, have to do with like, royalties of music. And they have to register you. Your PRO, which is like a BMI or your ASCAP.
Okay.
Those are your that in the Americas. That's
Okay.
what you have.
Okay.
And other places are other places. But then you have your Henry Fox or Harry Fox or Henry Fox or somebody HFA. All these places need to be registered with, and then once you're registered, it does take time for that to turn around. And then each digital store has their own timeline
Okay.
of payouts. So
Oh wow.
Spotify might take, you'll see your stuff maybe in 3 months or within a month. They're a little bit faster side, right? Title royalties, they might take up to like 3 to 9 months. The same with Apple, right?
Okay.
And you have to understand there's different money. You have your distribution money, and then you have your publishing royalties and your writing royalties and all that. So that differs depending on if you're independent, if you work with, if you're a songwriter and or you're just a singer, or if you're, what your cuts are, splits we call them.
Okay. Okay.
Right? I've never had to split anything because I do everything,
Right.
and I've never have to date not collaborated yet.
Okay.
But that day is coming soon because, like I said, things take a life of their own.
Right.
People want to do it now.
So, talk to viewers a little bit. Give your advice to viewers if someone wanted to get into producing their own music. Do you have any advice?
If you want to produce your own music, be yourself. Be driven by what you feel. Don't try to mimic anything that's out there. Just be you and let it flow.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. And before we say goodbye for the segment, tonight is your single release party, and it's here at Woodbridge Farm, Peter's Place. And um, what made you decide to celebrate here at the farm?
It's a special place.
Yeah, it really is.
When I came here, the first day that I really stepped foot on this land was Juneteenth.
Okay.
And there was magic. I felt magic.
Nice.
It's a very welcoming place for people of color, but not only that, a very safe queer space for LGBTQIA like individuals. There's nothing but love to be found here for all the misfits. So, coming here, meeting Peter, I'd already read about him. Somebody gave me uh, an article, but I was invited by two separate people to his event. But when I came here, I just felt the magic that I need to feel to know that I can do something someplace because I have to feel good.
Right.
If I don't feel good, I can't do it. And I felt good here, and it was like this. It was just chemistry.
Nice.
I'm very much guided by that. The Aura. That's the name of the new single. Is Zev Aura.
Nice.
And it's about aura. It's about the vibe, the feeling, the energy I get here. And I wanted to. I mean, this is my very first release party, and it's in this new place. It's in this new chapter of my life, and I chose this spot because I said, where else would I really do it?
Right. Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a natural thing.
And I'm gonna put on the screen for viewers your contact information on Instagram, and you said that your website is in the bio on that page, and then they can link into all your music and all that good stuff. So.
A lot of stories. If you read it, there's a lot of background of who I am, where I come from, post everything. So there's a lot of information there, and
awesome.
I would appreciate it if you favorite the pages, follow the pages, follow me. I follow people back. You know, I like to engage with people who want to engage with me, and subscribe. I'm on YouTube, but all this can go. You go to IG, the Zevron Don. You can just search the Zevron Don, literally in Google, and you should be able to find me literally
Okay.
anywhere. But if you go to IG, click that link. There's links to all my like the music and everything
Awesome.
there.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and share with viewers your dream, really, and the second chapter in your life and how that's all kind of worked together. And I'm so proud of you. It's been such a pleasure talking to you and getting to know you. And I'm really honored. So thank you so much.
Likewise. I'm honored. This is my first official interview, and I'm so happy that it's happening locally
Awesome.
with a local friendly face.
Awesome.
And I think you're amazing for doing this, and I appreciate you for giving Black and Brown voices a platform, especially for a new artist. This means a lot. So
Awesome.
thank
Awesome.
you so much, Paradise.
All right.
Love and
That's
Veggies.
me. All right.
Sam Baby.
Yep.
Zevron Don. Jenga.
Right.
Woodbridge Farm.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time. I'm
All right.
Samantha James.
Peace.
'Cause I've got far to go.